Good evening. Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Ord. We're going to talk the college football playoff. We're going to talk about Georgia, Florida State, what's left of Florida State. Do they even have a team that's going to show up to the Orange Bowl? Maybe they don't show up. I know we've heard talks of protesting. I don't know what that situation's like, but if you're a Georgia fan and you care about this bowl game, I understand it's a little underwhelming. Should be a blowout out there that's in Miami, right? The Orange Bowl in Miami. Yep. But we're going to start off with the Falcons' playoff chances because, we need to win both of these games. Alex, you have an article up on the site, sportstalkatl.com. What do the Falcons need? What kind of help do they need? Assuming they have to win both these games, what help do they need to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, you said it. First and foremost, they have to win out. They lose to the Bears or the Saints, and their chances are effectively dashed. And then at that, they still won't. The odds are at like 75%, even if they win out. They need help. And we'll go week to week. So week 17, Tampa Bay, New Orleans. That's the 1 week and maybe ever that Falcons fans should be rooting for the Saints. We need the Bucks to lose. On top of that, obviously that keeps the division open. So if the Bucks lose out, if the Bucks lose to the Saints this week, and then the Panthers next week, I know that's a long shot. The Falcons can win the division still if they win out. Obviously, the more likely path would probably be the wild card. So let's go to that. The Rams need the Giants to beat the Rams this week, week 17. That'll put them further back. The Steelers to beat the Seahawks. The Seahawks are already kind of back in the wild card picture. And then the Packers to beat the Vikings because Minnesota already beat Atlanta, so they would have that head-to-head victory. And that would put the Falcons, Saints, Rams, and Bucks at 8-8 alongside the Packers and Seahawks with the Vikings at 7-9. So that's just week 17. And those aren't necessarily that unlikely. Obviously, I think the most unlikely there is the Giants beating the Rams. They're going with not Teddy Bridgewater.
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. So maybe the Giants do stand a chance.
I think solid.
Yeah, I would say the Rams are playing really good football right now, though.
Yeah, no, the Rams, they definitely seem like a team that not only can get into the playoffs, just like the Bucks, honestly. So we're talking about two teams that are playing some of their best football at the end of the year. But this is the NFL. Tyrod Taylor is no slump. Tommy DeVito, I know we all loved the Italian mafia thing and the gabagoo. Like, it was a cute story. But let's be real. If you ever watch Tommy DeVito play, it was not the prettiest thing. Tyrod Taylor comes in there against the Eagles, and trust me, I bet on the Eagles. I had the Eagles, and of course, I didn't think going into my bet, Tyrod Taylor is going to come in. I thought we were going to get the gabagoo guy the whole game. Tyrod Taylor comes in, gets the cover. Of course, the Eagles did a lot of stupid stuff, but that's neither here nor there. I think the more realistic thing. Obviously, the Bucks losing out, they're going to have to lose to the Panthers, which. There's only two teams that have done that, guys, and the Falcons happen to be one of them. So it was really simple. Just beat the Panthers, and we're right in the mix. Unfortunately, we lose to the Panthers, and we need a lot of help from two teams that, like I said, are playing their best football here in the Bucks and the Rams. But it is any given Sunday. We've watched all of these teams lose bad games. You really don't know. And I'm actually going to be in Tampa Bay for the Saints and the game. I'll wear all LSU stuff, so I'm sure I'll get some stuff from Saints love. So hopefully the Saints get it done and at least keep the dream alive, right? Just keep the dream. If we have playoff hopes going into the final week, that's better than we've been in.
If you want to talk improvement, that's technically an improvement from the past two seasons. I think our playoff chances technically have been ended, week 16 last year, week 15 or 14 the year before. So that, I guess, if you're looking for improvement, Arthur Blank, that is technically improvement. So to recap, week 17, we are rooting for the Saints, the Giants, Steelers, and Packers. Let's say we get all of those things. Week 18, we need, again, on the flip side, we need the Bears to beat the Packers. We need the Cardinals to beat the Seahawks, the 49ers to beat the Rams, and then, of course, the long shot, the Panthers to beat the Bucks. I think the Bears can absolutely beat the Packers. I think the Cardinals with Kyler Murray can beat the Seahawks. The 49ers will be significant favorites over the Rams.
The Bears to beat to the Packers. What are they? They're 7-8, right? The Packers.
Yes. So then
we have the tiebreaker over them too because we beat them.
Correct.
I don't know how now the three-way tiebreaker is where all the stuff gets interesting because you might want the Packers to have the same record as you because you have the head-to-head over them and you might not have it over somewhere else. I don't know how all the tiebreakers work, but I know we beat them. Desmond Ridder, baby.
Yeah, I mean, but at the very least, if the Falcons beat the Saints in that week, the final game of the season, 9-8, with all of those other things happening in the wild card, they'll be guaranteed to make the playoffs at the very least. And that's all we're really looking forward to. So, it's not as impossible as I think some fans are making it out to seem. I think the Saints the Saints aren't some roll over and die type team. They're a bad football team. Don't get me wrong. They're a dumpster fire. Dennis Allen is not a real head football coach. They wasted $160 million on Derek Carr, aging roster, all that. They're still a proud team, and they're going to show up. Their fans are going to show
Especially
up.
in a rivalry game.
Yeah, so the Bucks or the Saints want to beat the Bucks. Now, if we can get the Panthers to just play that type of game that we saw them play against the Falcons, where they're like,
and the Packers,
we have nothing to lose. Let's ruin the Bucks' playoff chances. And if there's one thing we know about Baker Mayfield, he's at his best when everybody's talking bad about him. But when there's expectations, you're expected to beat the Panthers. He's come up short time to time in his career. So maybe that does work out in the Falcons' favor. Again, it's a long shot. The Falcons could still win out and not make the postseason, which would just be a drag, worst of both worlds. Don't make the playoffs. Don't get a high draft pick. I'm not of that party where I want to win football games. I don't care about a draft pick necessarily. Like, I want to win football games.
I don't care if our playoff hopes are dashed after we beat the Bears. Let's say we beat the Bears. First of all, I think the Bears they're going to be the harder of the two games. I know the Saints are on the road, rivalry game. They'd love to ruin the season, whatever. And if they beat the Bucks, they're going to be playing for a playoff spot themselves. Yep. So they win that game. I'm pretty sure they win the division if they went out that way. But there's no way you could convince me. I don't care what is on the line in week 17 or week 18 now. That I don't want to beat the Saints. Like, there's no world where I just want to lose to the Saints. Like, even if it's just ruining their season, I want to beat the Saints.
I don't know what it is off the top of my head, but it's been quite a long time, maybe like 16 or 17 since we've swept the Saints in a season. It's been a long time. Like, it would just be nice to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. I mean, it hasn't happened. I mean, that first win we got at home, that was the first time since 2017. That we beat them at home. Now, we did beat them on the road in Arthur Smith's first year, that Cordell Patterson long pass from Matt Ryan. But sweeping this, I mean, I can't stand people who are like, oh, we should have lost this game. Like, you're really telling me you're rooting against the Falcons when they play the Saints. Like, there's a world in your head. Like, what are you doing? Like, don't even be a fan of football. Like, it's not like the Falcons are going to win anything anyways. Like, what were you ever rooting for? Were you just 0-17? That's what I wanted them to go. Get Caleb Williams. Doesn't make any sense to me. I can't get by. I don't care if we're 3-14 or 3-13. Yeah. I want to beat the Saints. Like, I'm going to that game wanting to beat the Saints.
I don't understand the logic of trying to lose any of the games because draft picks are a trivial state right now. Like, no, I don't know why you're thinking that far ahead. Having the 10th versus the 14th pick isn't going to change the possibility of landing Jaden Daniels or any other quarterback in that sense. You're going to have to trade up anyways. So it doesn't really matter.
Well, you got to think. There's a couple people out there that want Bo Nix or J.J. McCarthy. J.J. McCarthy, damn well, might be the biggest joke of a first round prospect that I've ever seen in my life. Totally off topic, but I tweeted this out yesterday. Like, the guy is a scrub. Like, I'm sorry. Like, the guy hasn't had 150 passing yards in the last 4 weeks, and you're telling me this guy's going to get drafted in the NFL and someone's going to put their eggs in his basket. He's going to save your franchise? Are you joking?
Well, listen, to even, continue that conversation, I don't want to go too off topic.
I think
most of these quarterbacks in the Big Ten, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on Penn State's quarterback, but J.J. McCarthy, Allard has all the tools to be a good quarterback in terms of physical abilities.
That's what they said about Zach Wilson.
But the fact is, the fact is you're telling me that the Big Ten is running a 2000s SEC offense and you're expecting these gaudy numbers? No, that's a silly thing to expect. J.J. McCarthy isn't a great quarterback by any means. I don't want him on the Falcons, but I am going to defend him that the offense is archaic. They run the ball. I don't think they passed the ball in the second half against Ohio State. So I think that has more to do with the offense than it does, his ability.
They pulled the old Aiden O'Connell. Didn't complete a pass, but won the game. Coming up after the break, we're going to talk about quarterbacks. Russell Wilson, is he a potential target for the Falcons? That could become a possibility.